welcome to Freshly Served, the Healthy Vegan Cooking Show. I'm Heather and tonight we are making sushi. Now for those of you who think you need to use the white sticky sushi rice, you don't have to. I use short grain brown rice. It is pretty sticky. It definitely is going to hold your nori roll together. It's a lot healthier than white rice. It has all the nutrients in it. Go with brown rice. Now nori is a sheet of seaweed that holds your sushi together. Looks like this, and sea vegetables in general are a very good source of minerals because they live in the sea. They grow from the minerals that are in there. So always a good idea to get some of those in your diet. They're an especially good source of iodine, which is crucial to the function of your thyroid gland. So if you find that you have a lot of blood sugar fluctuations, try eating more seaweed and see if that helps. Thyroid helps to control metabolism, and fluctuating blood sugar can have an effect on the thyroid. Anyway, always good to get more of it, and sushi is probably my favorite way to have sea vegetables. So what you do to start is you're going to cook your rice, and you want to cook it ahead of time so that it has time to cool down. And then what you'll do is mix it up with a little bit of vinegar. Brown rice vinegar is the traditional. I use apple cider vinegar because I like it. I find it has a better balance, but if you're a traditionalist, you can go for the brown rice, that's fine. You want to stir it together with the rice to get it a little bit stickier. And I've been told by my Japanese friend that I need to be a little more respectful of my rice and not bruise it. So you want to try to mix this as gently as possible. Once your rice is ready to go, you're going to chop up your vegetables, and I'm using an avocado and some red pepper. And for sushi, you really don't need a lot of vegetable because they roll up. You want to keep things minimal and make it small. The other thing I'm going to put on there is some sprouts, and I've got some fresh sprouts here. These are excellent to grow in the winter. They have a ton of nutrients in them, and they're very inexpensive if you grow them at home. Now, if you haven't chopped an avocado before, all you do is you take your avocado and you're going to slice it around the pit. You can't go through the pit. Well, I haven't tried, but somehow I don't think it would go very well. Okay, once you have it cut all the way around, then all you do is give it a little twist and it's going to come apart, and the pit will be in one side. To get the pit out cleanly, give it a little smack with your knife. The knife will go right into the pit, hopefully not through, or else you'd cut your hand in half. And then give it a little twist as well, and it'll come out beautiful and clean. Now this is how it works if your avocado is ripe. If it's not ripe, the pit's not going to come out as easily, it's not going to chop as nicely, and it's not going to be as nutritious for you because the nutrients will not be ready for your body to absorb. Also, if it's properly ripe, the peel is just going to come off nice and easily like that. When you're looking for avocado ripeness, you want to look for a color that's very dark, and when you press it, it should be a little bit soft, but not too soft. Key to cutting vegetables for sushi is to make very small, thin slices. Small was a slip of the mouth. What I meant to say was just thin. Okay, you want them really thin. Same thing with the peppers. Avocado's sticky. Same thing with the peppers. You want to just cut them very, very thinly so that you get a nice tight sushi roll. There's pepper. A sushi mat is not really a necessity, but it's going to make things a lot easier, especially if it's your first time rolling. What you want to do is take your mat, and if you see these lines of thread, they go lengthwise. You want that pointed away from you where you're rolling. Then when you take your nori roll, there are two sides. One is kind of matte, the other is quite a bit shinier. Not sure if you can see that. There, okay. Shiny? Not quite as shiny. And you can see if I hold it in the light, there are some lines on my nori roll, right here, right here. See those? Those are kind of guides for where you should cut, and that's a little bit thicker than what I normally cut. But anyway, what you want to do is when you have your sheet, line it up with the lines on your mat. They don't have to be perfectly in line, but that's the direction you want to be rolling. So lay it out there, put some rice on it. You want to spread it out so that the rice goes just to the edge back here, goes as close to the edges as you can here, but then you want to leave a strip at the end for where it's going to seal together. And a lot of places will tell you to smush this down, and that's how I used to do it. But a friend of mine who is Japanese told me that this is not nice for the rice, so we're gonna not do that. What you do is take your vegetables, lay them out in a line here, so there's room back here, and then the vegetable, and then there's lots of room here plus that strip. And then I've got some sprouts that I'm going to put on here as well. Now sprouts are not your traditional sushi fixing, but I love sprouts, so I love them in my sushi, and that's what I'm going to do. When you roll this, you take the back edge, you're going to press down here on your vegetables, take your back edge and fold it over, okay? Then you're going to squish it back, take your bamboo mat out because it doesn't make for good eating, roll it over again, squish it back this way towards you, squish it down a little bit, down, and make sure you're squishing all along the row. Get your bamboo mat out again, roll it again, give it a little squish, and then the final time is where we seal that end bit off. And there you go, you can see it has a nice clean seal except for these stray bits of rice. And then if you let this sit for a few minutes, it'll cut up much easier. Now what I do when I'm rolling is I keep these guys in order. So this is the one I rolled first and this is the one I rolled last. And I'm going to cut them in that order because the nori softens up as it sits with the rice, and it'll be a lot easier to cut once it's had a few minutes to sit. And all you do to cut helps to wet your knife a little bit, otherwise the rice will stick to it. I chop off the end. At the beginning your ends are probably not going to be too attractive. And then just cut it in whatever size you like. Sometimes the ends are pretty if you have a little bit of stuff sticking out. So this one has some sprouts sticking out of it. So there's the roll. And yeah, it does take a bit of practice to be able to roll them nicely. So don't get discouraged if your first ones don't look too nice. You'll get better at it. So some healthy vegan sushi. If the ends on your rolls are not holding together very nicely, think of them as your treat as the sushi chef. I like to have these with a little bit of tamari. Pickled ginger and wasabi are also nice if you like the spice. And these guys are my favorite to take to a potluck because they travel so easily. So I'm making these for Phil to take to a potluck tomorrow night. Hopefully they all enjoy them.